Fill out your bracket yet?
Yeah, I actually did. Players filled out theirs, and had to, they're being students of the game, not betting, but just filling them out.
Right.
Yeah, thanks.
Who you got winning it? If you don't mind me asking.
I had the one I really have is Louisville, because I think they're playing really good basketball right now. But you know who could win this? It's the first time that, in my estimation, it's happened in college basketball that you got a mid-level that has a chance to win it.
Gonzaga.
Yeah. And picked them. You have some that's gotten to the finals and snuck there, and then you had a couple that won it. Like, actually, there's, when I say mid-major, so I don't know if you could have put UNLV as a mid-major when they were that good. They had the best players that money could buy.
You mean the ones that Kentucky didn't get?
Not Tark the Sharp.
Oh man, I tell you, you see that game last night? I know they're disappointed, but I'm gonna tell you this: he doesn't have the personality he's had in the past, and the place he went is a hard place to play. We know firsthand at that. Back-to-back years we've been there, and what is it? Was it back-to-back years?
Yeah, back-to-back years. Last year was in the regular season. This year was the
Oh, that's
NIT.
right. That's the NIT. Back-to-back years. That tells you the difference. Well, they're veterans. They're seniors. They're veterans, and they're tough. They're really tough, and you have to match their toughness, or it's a problem.
I think something like that has to do with Kentucky maybe not being engaged, because the talent that they have, you would think they should be able to beat Robert Morris.
Yeah, but see, this game of basketball is really a different kind of game, because you can be talented, but if you ain't playing hard and tough, think about that now. I thought Wright State wasn't very talented, but they played hard and tough, so they can win some games. And going in there, that's a different monster. You have to. When we went in there 2 years ago, we were a pretty good team, and so when we went in there, we threw the first punch. We went at them, physically, and literally nobody scored for about for the first 5 minutes because everybody was punching each other, and then they realized that we weren't going to back down. And then Trey got hot and hit about 4 or 5 jump shots. Now all of a sudden we're in the game, and we took over the game. This year we went in there and we're hitting face to face with them, and then this is about a 5 or 6 point game. We're right at them, and then time goes down, and that changes that whole game, So you have to go in there and fight them. If you go in there just nonchalant and thinking I'm Kentucky, they're coming after you, and with that crowd, that even made it worse. Let me see one of them up there, please.
I'm trying to get up the racket. I don't have it. I'll tell you the team I've liked all year. I just don't remember who they're playing first round. Not to win the national title, but to really ruin some hopes for one is Iowa State.
I had Iowa State winning that first round too.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame. I heard their coach on the air yesterday, and all he wants to talk about is those friggin' green uniforms. Right? I'd be worried about the guys wearing that. That's why I wore this today. That's as close as I get to Iowa State. I want Iowa State to beat them by 30.
Well, no. Bray's a good guy.
I don't doubt he's a good guy.
He's one of the good guys in this profession.
He's going to lose. He's going to be a good guy. We didn't see that coming. I thought they just found out a deal like we do in church. No.
That was terrible. But
Here it is.
No, I picked Iowa State to win that one.
All right.
And let me tell you something. There are 12 games in that first round that can go either way.
Valpo,
Now think how many times that has happened. Usually the first round, You may have three or four, maybe two or three, and that's what is that 5,
5-12,
12, and
8-9.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's 12 games.
Yeah, I like the Zoo in their bracket. You know,
Who is that?
they play in Colorado State.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like even Cincinnati. What is Cincinnati?
They're playing Creighton.
Creighton. That could go either way.
Creighton will be about 15. How about Valparaiso, Michigan State?
No, Mississippi State.
Do you think Valpo got a little bit gypped, especially being at Auburn Hills?
Oh, well, actually, they got that. That's a positive for them to be closer.
But Michigan State, that's almost like a home game.
Yeah, it is. It is. And they're gonna win 2 games in there for that reason alone.
Because like the computer rankings, like Valpo's like 64th, and Michigan State's like 9th. You know, that's a pretty.
That is a big difference. That is a big difference.
Now I know why you picked Bucknell on the radio today.
Oh, Bucknell.
Because guess who they're playing the first round?
Butler! Your buddy's the Butler Invitational.
Now Butler could easily win that game because that's another one's up for grabs.
Why do you like that?
Because they're a good team.
Yeah, big people who can play.
They got a big kid inside that can play. They got
Eat up
guards.
Andrew Smith.
They can shoot. I mean, yeah, they probably gonna get beat, but I think if they can get past that game, I think they'll be a Sweet 16 team.
How about Wichita State?
That's a great game
Yeah,
too.
that's a
You
good-
played Wichita State 2 years ago.
Yeah, and Wichita State, they're basically the same 2 teams. And I picked Pittsburgh in that because I think they learned the lesson last year. I mean, you can go down the line. There's so many teams in there that it's shocking me. Belmont and Arizona, that's a potential.
Yeah.
Because I put Arizona on there, and I said, man, this Belmont make it.
I like Belmont.
Yeah, I mean, because see, the one thing that is constant is no one has any dominant post guys.
Yeah.
We done talked about this for years. Now it has really come to fruition. That European post guy has taken over college basketball.
How about that?
Akron's got a post guy. Yeah, Akron's. Yeah, but they're. Well, but they're
right to the basket.
their problem is they're opposite. And now I think if Akron can get past the press, they'll beat them.
You know, that's what, after the game, that's what Dambrot said when he was up there on the stand. He said, oh, now I know what they're going to do. They're going to put us up against Shaka and that team and all that pressure. But I thought that this morning, if they can get it over half court, if Betancourt plays as well as he did in the championship game of that tournament, if they can get it to Zeke, or especially to Treadwell, they can win.
Well, the thing that I watched, I remember many years ago. You remember when Kentucky, was it Kentucky? Yeah, it was Kentucky that was good. Patino was there, and they were pressing everybody. And they went up against the Fab Five, and they lost. I think it was the semifinals when they lost to the Fab Five. And they were very good then. I mean, Kentucky was very good. But what Michigan did was, Michigan did just throw over the top of it. And then Weber and all of them just caught it and moved it, and then once they got to the half court, they couldn't stop it.
Did you see Akron? Any of the MAC tournament?
No, I didn't see it.
I just wondered, because I thought that Akron figured it out in that last game. They struggled in the semifinals until they put Harney at point guard. That obviously wasn't the long-term solution.
Right.
And then Betancourt played a lot better in the championship, and they tried to pressure too. They just threw it right over the top. They had Gilliam kid, and then Gilliam really attacked well.
Well, the difference with Shaka's team is they got 2 guys inside that are good. They got good size. The thing I was telling the one thing I like about Shaka's, what he has done with his program, is all of his recruits aren't the same. You know, think about the Cavaliers. They're not all the same. That's why there's certain people that struggle in certain areas. You know, Shaka gets all athletes that can run, jump, and do that. Now, you get a guy that's not a running jumper, he's going to slow you down in an area. And in college, if you can get everybody the same, you're pretty different than everybody. Because even take, you can go down the line and look at different teams. If they're the same and they're good, you got to change. They're going to beat you.
How about Temple, North Carolina State?
That's another question mark.
You played North Carolina State this year, and they were really good. With
I picked North Carolina State, but that could easily go Temple's way.
Is Temple any good this year? I haven't seen.
Yeah, they're good.
I haven't seen them play.
They're good.
Cincinnati Creighton, that could be
A good one.
a real barn burner. I'll tell you what, Georgetown, Florida Gulf Coast, they're going to win.
Yeah, Georgetown is
They got auto.
Georgetown, you could watch out, could be a Final Four team.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Because they're really polished.
Well, Minnesota, UCLA.
I got Minnesota winning that.
Did you?
I got
Did
Minnesota.
you pull Minnesota on that
Yeah,
one?
I got Minnesota winning that one.
Iowa State, Notre Dame.
I got
I know
Iowa
you
State.
like Mike Bray.
No, I got Iowa State.
I know you like him. You think he's a great guy, but I watched Iowa State play this year. That league was so good.
Yeah, I got Iowa State winning that because I watch Iowa State play a lot. And I've really, I said Mike Bray. I didn't say the team was that great. I really questioned Notre Dame throughout this year. It's funny because in the preseason they played well. They get to the league, everybody's whooping them. I mean, it was weird. They had a weird year.
TMW.
Oh, they lost the kid. Notre Dame lost some pretty good kids.
TMWG.
Who is that? Oh. I hate it. I didn't hear that.
I watched BYU last night, rubbing my eyes.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Woo! Look like 1958. Like, damn! Didn't have short shorts. And, woo.
What are your thoughts on now that the Big East picture is getting clearer?
Now, what I didn't hear was it 4 of them they selected?
It was Creighton and the 2 that we knew before.
Butler and Xavier.
Yeah, but
Not Dayton yet.
not Dayton.
Okay.
Dayton's the following pretty soon.
Dayton the following year.
That's what the New York Post said.
Okay. Did they also say St. Louis potential?
I don't know. I can remember Dayton.
Well, what someone told me today was that it went to the Atlantic 10. Except for the championship game, no one was at the other games. And they said it was because who was playing. Dayton was playing, Butler was playing someone, and they couldn't get people there. And he says, just imagine they're going into that Catholic 7 and going to Madison Square Garden. Who's going to show up for them? Yeah. I mean, it's just, it could be a strange match. It really could. Now, the other problem I think with that is they're only going to get 3 or 4 or maybe 5 at the maximum. So you're going to have 12 teams that all went to that league that aren't going to have a chance to go to the NCAA. I mean, out of the 12, you're going to have 8 that won't have a chance to go to the NCAA, and they're good teams. They're not like average teams. How do you feel about that? That's what I wonder. How do they feel about you going in a league that it's a great chance you may not go to the tournament anymore?
It's almost a glorified A-10.
Yeah, it is. The difference is there's some history still there.
All right, pop quiz, because I failed this miserably last time we were here. And I got derided by the coach for not knowing squat. Who are the 7 teams that you're talking about? The 7 going?
Well, there's St. John's, Georgetown, DePaul, Marquette.
Providence.
There's one more we're missing.
Seton Hall?
Seton Hall. Yeah.
Okay.
Cincinnati and Louisville will go with the big group, the football.
And
that's kind of screwed up because some people are backing out of there.
they don't have a league name yet.
Which one?
The
Football.
the football league. It's just kind of a.
What did they have? They had a name. They had one.
America 10 or something.
Yeah.
American 12.
American
Oh,
12.
Lord,
Yeah.
that's bad.
I mean, are you panicked? And I don't mean this in the wrong way. Concerned
About our league.
about where? No, forget the league. I mean, your program, be tunnel vision. You just signed a contract. You're here for at least another 6 years, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So, you said you worried about schools in that Lulu getting left by the wayside. You worry about the Horizon becoming the new MAC, which is 1 team in every year. No
I am. That's a concern. That's a concern that the person we bring in can help elevate and make our league competitive.
What, you mean the program you bring in?
Well, yeah, I mean, the program we bring in, to help our league.
Coming in with?
Well, the message I have received, it may not happen this year, only because of all these things that are going down. They're concerned if they make a team, it could have been somebody else they could have got to come into the league and to make the team better.
Who do you want? Oakland?
Well, Oakland would be a good choice. You know, the two teams that they also mentioned was Belmont and Murray State. You know, I don't know what they're going to do with this whole thing because the landscape is different. You're going from one side of the country to the other.
Is the OVC gone through?
No, that's.
See, Creighton, they feel bad about Creighton because Creighton was their front runner like Butler was ours, and now they're leaving the league.
MVC?
Yeah.
Creighton's going to that 7+.
Yeah,
Correct.
7+3. Yeah.
And even think about the CAA. They have been depleted now. I mean, that was one of the best basketball leagues in college basketball. If you talk about the top 6, they had to be in the next 4. And now they're not. Now they get one team only.
Does the fact that you had a downside on the wins-losses thing this year hurt your chances to move, or were you not in play anywhere at any time?
I don't know. I never really looked at that. See, I don't think we as a single entity would be considered. I think a combination of two coming from an area would be considered, so they can get that. For instance, like Akron and us would have been to somebody appealing. But hear me, that's what I'm trying to say. They would be appealing, but none of the others are appealing to them. Maybe at Kent State, but they want to get the markets.
What about the horizon? I mean, should they be worried that they might lose a Detroit or maybe even a Valpo, to get a little bit of the Chicago?
Well, the problem, their concern is the private and the public. Because if they bring in another private, another public, the private may think this has become a public league. And they may want to go into another league, into another area. That's why you got to wait. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Do you think that the horizon next year will be the same 9 teams next season?
I don't know. All I'm hearing, the words I'm hearing is they're not going to make a decision very quickly because they want to see how everything turns out and what and what kind of trickle down effect you have.
Does inaction scare you at all?
You mean them moving?
That they're not,
not moving.
Yes.
It doesn't scare me, but it tells me that they're going. What it tells me is they're being very cautious before they make a decision, because see this could destroy your league, or it could make your league.
What about?
I asked the commissioner of the MAC last Sunday. I got a chance to talk to him, and I said, all this stuff going around you. He said, if you're the commissioner of a Division I conference now, you have to have your head on a swivel. And I said, okay, that being the case, are you feeling pretty good about the MAC, given the fact that you're stable and you've got institutions that are football and basketball compatible? He thinks that's their strength.
It is.
He doesn't think, like you mentioned Akron and Kent, he doesn't think those programs go anywhere.
Well, Akron doesn't go to the Atlantic 10 because they don't have football, and they won't be an independent entity out there. So I made that comment to say when people look at us, or they want to look at 2 people coming from that area. So when the teams go there, they play 2 games.
Why wouldn't the Horizon be in a position of strength, though? You're a stable institution with basketball-only conferences. You don't have the 800-pound gorilla that's football. You can, and you're stable. Wouldn't you be in a position of strength to add a 10th team rather than weakness?
No, I didn't say weakness. No, I didn't say weakness. I think we can find a team that will add to us. But I think what they want to do is find the right team to elevate us, because you can do that. And if you do it in a hurry, you may get a team. But it's really, if you add another team that's 200 plus RPI, that says your league is a 200 plus RPI. So that says automatically you're going to get one team to go. if you bring a team that can also bring an RPI of a 100 and below, now all of a sudden you're at a strength position. And that's what Butler gave us in the past. They were 100 and below. So now they had to look at least Butler being an at-large team every time we played in the tournament.
What was Cleveland State the year they beat Butler in the championship game?
RPI?
60.
It
It was 60 something,
yeah, mid 60s.
60 to 70, somewhere in
And what's
that.
the magic number that I heard? Is it 46 and under automatically gets? Is that still true?
Because we were
No.
40-something with Norris's last year. We were in the 40s.
Yeah, we're in the 40s. So it doesn't
Low
really.
40s.
And I'll give you an example.
Akron had one of those years too.
When I was at Kent, my best team that I considered my best team, it didn't go to the NCAA, it went to the NIT, and we were 34.
Is that Warden senior year?
That's Warden senior year. And we were a 34, and we didn't go. Now, I knew why we didn't go, because we tied the league, and they didn't want to take the other team, and now we got left behind. And, somebody else was a 30-something this year.
Oh, yeah.
Middle Tennessee, did they make it?
They made it.
No, what was
They
the
lost.
other? Mississippi. Southern Miss.
Miss.
Yeah.
They were a 30-something, didn't make it.
Conference USA.
Yeah.
And now what is really strong as opposed to back then was strength of schedule. And the strength of schedule in your non-conference teams. And how many teams did you beat in the top 100? Or how did you do against the teams in the top 100? That is really strong today as opposed to in the past. The RPI was really strong in the past. If they immediately went by that, it made their job easy. Now, the RPI really means something, but don't really mean a whole lot. They're looking at who you played, where you played them at, and then once they decide that you are considered one, who are the like teams with you? And if the like teams that are with you are not very good, you're not getting in. That's why you haven't. That's the reason why you haven't had as much complaint. Think about all the TV shows. You haven't had any complaint about the selection because it's really defined now.
There's with all these alphabet tournaments now. Is there 4 now? NCAA,
Alphabet
NITs,
tournaments, yeah.
CBIs, yeah.
NCAA. With all these alphabet tournaments now, is there a part of you that wants to go over and kick that wall? Because if you'd have been 17 and 14, was it 14 and 17? Was it
14 and 18.
14 and 18. If you'd have flipped it, you'd have been in somebody's tournament. I mean, there's only 3 teams in the league who aren't playing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to go to that wall? I mean, I don't want to say kick the wall. But, I mean, is there a part of you that's
Well, you want to take your team to postseason tournament so they get prepared to compete at a postseason level. And you always want to get that chance. The problem we would have had is even if we would have won 17 and 14 at that time, we probably would have been on the road. I mean, and so you stand a chance to put another loss on your record.
If Anton hadn't gotten hurt, would we be having this discussion?
No, that wouldn't happen.
Or would you be in one of the alphabet tournaments?
No. We wouldn't have been in there. Hear me. If we would have won the 17 games, because there was 3 games I thought we should have won even with this group. And if you add Anton to that group, you win that 3. But I also I think one player gives you 3 wins, and I think he would have given us another 3.
And before I forget, are the kids back from spring break yet?
Yeah, they came back this week.
All right. Is the one kid who's been discussion of conjecture about staying or going, is he back?
Yeah, he's back, and he's
Junior. Has he told you that he's staying or going?
Well, he's never said he was going. First of all, and he was disappointed when he seen that. But you never
worried?
know. You never know.
I know there's parents. I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but often there are parents and others involved in decisions like that. Are you worried about him leaving, or do you think he'll be here next October 15th?
Well, right now I would think he would be here, but there's always a question mark in everything.
I also saw a Twitter update from the kid out at Spire, whatever his name is, who said that he hasn't decided between Cleveland State and Seattle. What the hell?
That's kids talking. That's kids talking. Literally, he just got. Well, we haven't had the kid.
I know you haven't signed it.
Well, we haven't had him for a visit yet. He just visited James Madison during their hoopla weekend. Going to the tournament. before the kid could come back and say, "Hey, I love this hoopla. I want to go to James Madison."
Off the record, I mean, we know Trey's coming in. You follow Trey on Twitter, and